Department function at Paarl in the Boland. The incident happened at the venue where they were trying to break the world record by laying a 15,000 square metre blanket at the Drakenstein Correctional Centre. Ambulances are on the scene where the injured are being treated. Earlier, the minister in the department, Vanessa, said the blanket made by the offenders is expected to be donated to the needy in time for the winter season. Well, for more on this now, we crossed our reporter Vanessa Poonah, who's at the scene. Vanessa, good afternoon. I mean, this is somewhat a tragic event, which was supposed to be somewhat of a happy occasion.
Really an incident to mar what all present came to celebrate today, not only in honor of the legacy of former President Nelson Mandela, but also as part of an initiative to assist poor families, NGOs and charities, because they would have been or would still be the recipients of these blankets. We've spoken to various role players in terms of how exactly they've managed to get, and I've heard 17,000 square meters of blankets. Now, the event, the official part of the event, had just gotten underway, not even an hour or so into the event, when strong winds indeed blew over part of the canvas around the steel structure of this marquee that was set up right opposite the Drakenstein Correctional Facility. We've seen people scramble to get out of the tent, quite a bit of panic there. We've just attended a briefing about the National Correctional Services Commissioner, Zach Modise, who confirmed that 5 people in total have suffered minor injuries. He told us that 4 of these people were indeed inmates, and 1 was an attendee, a member of the public, that are currently being assisted medically by personnel on the scene. And now the Correctional Services Commissioners also told us that the formal part of the event or of the ceremony has now been cancelled amid very strong winds and heavy weather conditions here in the Cape today. And also told us that an investigation will indeed be launched to determine exactly how it came about that the structure indeed was blown partially over. At the time that I left the field where the structure was standing, quite a number of inmates were holding the back part of the structure up because it did appear as though the structure was nearing complete collapse. A lot of the people attending the event have since moved over to a small section where some people have been heard singing songs, and they also will be addressed by department officials just to give the way forward in terms of this event that has tonight been cancelled due to this tragedy that struck what would have been aimed at being an event to honour not just the legacy of Nelson Mandela, but also the work that's being done within prisons, correctional facilities, in terms of rehabilitating prisoners by teaching them how to knit and crochet. Yes, indeed. So the event has been cancelled, and we've just learned that 5 people have suffered minor injuries.
All right, so the official part of this has been cancelled, but the initiative as a whole, I would imagine that sentiment still carries on, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed. It's unofficial. It hasn't been announced as yet, but I've heard people talking about a 17,000 square metre figure that they've been jostling around. Now, you will know, we were aiming for 12,000 square metres to break the Guinness World Record of the largest blanket. And if that figure of 17,000 that I heard is indeed correct, then it would mean that that figure has been surpassed far and wide. But I suppose it will still be up to the official announcement to be made in terms of just how well, Team South Africa, if you will, the Department of Correctional Services, as well as the 67 blankets for Nelson Mandela, and also the Nelson Mandela Foundation have come in terms of securing that victory in the Guinness World Book of Records.
Well, thanks very much indeed. Vanessa Poonah there bringing us up to date on that event in Paarl. 5 people with minor injuries. The event officially cancelled, but the initiative to break that record seems to be ongoing.